Lust doesn't just affect your morals. It quietly sabotages your money. Lust is expensive, and most believers are paying for it without realizing it. You pray, you work hard, you're trying to honor God, yet prosperity still feels far away. What if the issue isn't effort, discipline, or even faith, but a spiritual leak no one warned you about? Stay with me, because in the next few minutes I'll show you how desire drains financial favor before money ever reaches your hands. This isn't opinion. This isn't condemnation. This is a pattern Scripture repeats over and over, from Samson to Solomon to Israel itself. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Here's what most people miss. Lust doesn't show up as chaos first. It shows up as leakage. Time leaks, focus leaks, discernment leaks, and money follows focus. In Scripture, prosperity follows wisdom, not effort. And lust is anti-wisdom. It hijacks attention, weakens judgment, and slowly disconnects decisions from consequences. That's why Solomon didn't lose wealth the day he sinned. He lost clarity first. And when clarity left, decisions followed. And when decisions shifted, the kingdom paid the price. In a moment, I'll show you the first biblical reason lust blocks prosperity. And it has nothing to do with sex and everything to do with vision. But first, let's lock something in. If you're watching this, chances are you're not lazy. You believe in God. You believe in discipline. You believe in stewardship. Yet somehow, money feels harder than it should. Scripture explains why. Proverbs doesn't say wealth follows hustle. It says wealth follows wisdom. And wisdom begins with vision. Before we go further, drop this in the comments. No details, no explanations. Just one word. Which area feels most leaky right now? Time, focus, or money? That simple awareness matters more than you think. And if this channel feels like home, a place for believers who want Scripture without sugarcoating and faith without financial confusion, you already belong here. Now let's get into it. Reason number 1. Lust fractures vision before it touches behavior. Here's the claim. Lust doesn't destroy wealth by action first. It destroys wealth by distraction. Scripture says, where there is no vision, the people perish. Vision isn't just future goals. Vision is the ability to see consequences clearly. Lust narrows vision, not instantly, gradually. Look at Samson. Samson didn't lose strength overnight. He lost discernment step by step. Judges tells us Samson saw a woman, and that phrase repeats. He didn't inquire. He didn't evaluate. He reacted, and each time he reacted, his decision-making shortened. Lust trained Samson to prioritize immediate desire over long-term assignment. That same mechanism shows up financially. Impulse replaces patience. Short wins replace long vision. Spending replaces strategy. When vision narrows, money leaks quietly. You stop asking, where is this leading? And start asking, how does this feel right now? That's not a moral issue. That's a wisdom issue. And once vision is fractured, stewardship becomes impossible. In a moment, I'll show you how lust doesn't just shrink vision. It sabotages discipline itself. But first, notice this. Samson didn't fall because he was weak. He fell because his focus was split. That matters, because the second reason explains why discipline alone doesn't save you. Reason number 2. Lust erodes self-control, the gateway to wealth. Here's the claim. Wealth flows through self-control. Lust eats it alive. Proverbs says, a city without walls is a man without self-control. Walls protect value. Joseph understood this. Joseph faced temptation privately, not publicly. No crowd, no pressure, just opportunity. And Scripture says he fled. Why? Because Joseph valued tomorrow more than today. That decision preserved more than his morality. It preserved his authority. Years later, Joseph controlled resources for entire nations. Self-control wasn't optional. It was infrastructure. Lust weakens that infrastructure, not in one dramatic collapse, but in daily erosion. You become excellent at resisting big sins, but terrible at resisting small leaks. Impulse purchases, time drains, energy misallocation, and over time, Money follows the path of least resistance. This is why discipline feels harder after repeated indulgence. Lust trains the brain to expect reward without patience. And patience is the currency of wealth. In a moment, I'll show you how lust doesn't just weaken self-control, it reshapes what you value. And when values shift, money obeys. But pause here. If self-control is the wall, then desire determines what you build inside the city. That leads to the third reason. Reason number 3, lust reorders value, and money serves value. Here's the claim. Money doesn't follow need. Money follows value. Jesus said, "Where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." Notice the order. Treasure first. Heart follows. Solomon started with wisdom. God gave him wealth as a byproduct. But later, Solomon's desires multiplied. Scripture doesn't say he abandoned wisdom instantly. It says his heart was turned. Gradually, when desire multiplies without restraint, priorities shift. Resources follow priorities. Solomon's spending exploded. Projects multiplied. Focus diluted. The kingdom didn't collapse immediately. It cracked internally. Lust doesn't demand everything at once. It asks for just enough to reorder value. Time goes to pleasure before purpose. Money goes to appearance before foundation. Energy goes to stimulation before strategy. And wealth stops compounding, because compounding requires alignment. If this is connecting, hit the like, not for the algorithm, but as a signal to yourself that clarity matters more than comfort. Now here's what most people miss. When value shifts, decision-making slows down. That leads directly to the fourth reason. Reason number 4, lust clouds judgment, and judgment is financial power. Here's the claim. Wealth is a judgment game. Lust fogs judgment. Isaac blessed the wrong son because he trusted sensation over discernment. Taste, touch, familiar feeling. Esau traded his birthright for immediate satisfaction. One meal, lifetime consequence. That wasn't hunger. That was impatience. Lust creates the same trade. Future leverage exchange for present relief. You don't lose money because you don't know better. You lose money because desire interrupts evaluation. Scripture calls wisdom the principal thing. Not hustle, not intensity, wisdom. And wisdom requires clarity. Lust muddies the water. You rationalize. You justify. You rush. And rush decisions are expensive. In a moment, I'll show you why lust doesn't just affect individuals. It drains systems and households. Because the fifth reason explains why patterns repeat across generations. Reason number 5, lust breaks covering, and covering protects increase. Here's the claim. Protection precedes provision. Israel prospered when covenant alignment existed. When desire pulled them toward idols, protection lifted. Not instantly, progressively. Covering isn't just spiritual language. It's alignment between values and behavior. When alignment breaks, leakage begins. Households feel it. Businesses feel it. Nations feel it. Lust creates hidden misalignment. You appear disciplined, but internally divided. And division is expensive. Jesus said a divided house cannot stand. That applies to finances too. Money resists chaos. And lust creates internal chaos long before external consequences appear. Now here's the twist most believers never hear. Lust doesn't just destroy, it replaces. It replaces purpose with appetite. That brings us to the 6th reason. Reason number 6, lust substitutes appetite for assignment. Here's the claim. Assignment creates provision. Appetite consumes it. David fell when he was idle. Not weak, idle. Kings were at war. David stayed home. When purpose pauses, appetite gets louder. That moment didn't just cost David morally. It cost him peace, stability, and legacy. Unaddressed appetite demands payment. Financially, this shows up as drift. You stay busy, but detached from assignment. Money stops multiplying because multiplication follows purpose. God funds assignments, not distractions. In a moment, I'll show you the final reason. And this one explains why lust is never satisfied and why that matters financially. Reason number 7, lust is never filled, and empty desires are expensive. Here's the claim. What doesn't satisfy drains. Proverbs says the eyes of man are never satisfied. Lust has no finish line. That's why it's costly. Spending without satisfaction. Consumption without fulfillment. It keeps asking, and money keeps answering, until wisdom intervenes. This is why Scripture pairs contentment with gain, because contentment closes leaks. Now let's land this. Lust isn't about shame. It's about stewardship. It doesn't mean you're broken. It means awareness restores power. Money doesn't disappear randomly. It responds to alignment. When desire submits to wisdom, clarity returns. When clarity returns, decisions improve. When decisions improve, favor follows. Final question. What would change if desire stopped leading and wisdom took its place? That reflection is the beginning of restoration.